This is the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you. And as always, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. It's a very slow period across the National Football League, but the coverage here on the Niners Report never, ever stops. Coming up, a defensive lineman just hit the market who could really fit this Niners defense. And I think that defensive line coach Chris Kocurek could really maximize this player as a pass rusher who could provide San Francisco with some depth at defensive end. Also, the Niners showed interest in a former first-round pick cornerback who was selected by the Las Vegas Raiders, which really tells a story with what the Niners might think of that cornerback position. All of that is coming your way over the next several minutes, but last call, only a few hours left in the month of June. And my goal here on the Niners Report, pick more subscribers up in the month of June compared to May. Last month, 938 people hit that sub button. Thanks to everybody for your continued support of the program. So far this month, we have gained 917 subscribers. So we're 21 subscribers away from a tie, 22 away from overtaking that number. Help me out. Let's accomplish that. And you're a winner at the end of the day. Do you love the San Francisco 49ers? If the answer is yes, I always have you covered with the most elite coverage right here on YouTube. And Seahawks fans have been telling me, Chase, there's no way that you're going to beat that number from May. I guarantee you we will, because I believe in the faithful. All right, let's go. Let's talk Ogbo Okoronkwo, fifth-round pick by the Los Angeles Rams out of Oklahoma in the 2019 NFL Draft. And he has been a rotational pass rusher who's ended up having a solid career up to this point for where he was drafted and what he's been able to do. 6'2", 250 pounds. He is that type of pass rusher who, when he pins his ears back, he can really get after the quarterback and collapse the pocket. Year one with the Rams, 1.5 sacks with 4 quarterback hits, 1 TFL. Year two with the Rams, 1 sack, 3 quarterback hits, 1 TFL. He played 10 games each of his first 2 years. He's with the Rams in 2021. He ups that total to 2 sacks, 3 TFLs, and 6 quarterback hits. Then he signs on with the Houston Texans in 2022, and he had kind of a breakout year for Houston as a rotational player. Played all 17 games, had 5 sacks, 9 TFLs, and 11 quarterback hits. Last 2 years, he's played under Jim Schwartz with the Cleveland Browns. I say that because Jim Schwartz runs the wide 9. What do the Niners run? The wide 9. And Okoronkwo has had 4.5 sacks and 3 sacks in each of the last 2 seasons. And I was surprised that he was let go by Cleveland. As a depth pass rusher, we're talking about a pretty solid player here. And you think about this Niners roster. Yes, they did address defensive line in the NFL draft, but I think the Niners could still use some help along the defensive line. It's one of those position groups where you can never have enough good players. Although the Niners did draft Mykel Williams 11th overall. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday to the young fella. The Niners did trade for Bryce Huff, who had 10 sacks 2 years ago under Robert Saleh, and I think that he can be unlocked with this Niners defense. Just wasn't a scheme fit for San Francisco. The Niners did draft C.J. West and Alfred Collins. They've definitely improved the defensive line to give Nick Bosa, one of the top pass rushers, a lot of support. And I don't hate Yetur Gross-Matos as a backup. I think that Sam Okuwanu came out of nowhere last year to play some good ball. He has a nonstop motor, always trying to prove himself, and I like that about his game. He also has some positional versatility. So too does YGM, Yetur Gross-Matos. Behind that, though, Robert Beal on the roster bubble. He hasn't shown a lot of pass rush upside since being taken in the 5th round in the 2023 NFL draft out of Georgia. And that's where Okoronkwo comes in. Because I think that he's better than Robert Beal. I think that he can be a better pass rusher and more productive than a Sam Okuwanu and possibly a Yetur Gross-Matos. Okoronkwo was released this week by the Cleveland Browns, and he gives you pass rush ability, positional versatility, and scheme familiarity. Last year, he had 24 pressures. Those 24 pressures were his lowest since 2021, but he flashes explosiveness, and that's what got him drafted coming out of Oklahoma in the 2019 NFL draft. I also think that he has pretty refined pass rushing moves to bend the edge, collapse the pocket, and get after the quarterback. And that type of skill set really fits the Niners. That's why San Francisco traded for Bryce Huff. He is a speed rusher who's explosive with that quick first step when the ball gets snapped. And because of that, he can beat offensive tackles. And I think that Chris Kocurek can recapture the 2022 form that we saw from Okoronkwo when he was playing with Houston. And that season with Houston was an impressive one. He ranked 15th among edge defenders with at least 100 pass rush snaps in pass rush grade. He was 16th in pass rush win rate at 16.5%. So this, to me, is a no-brainer. It's not going to cost that much. He knows the scheme. Chris Kocurek and Robert Saleh can maximize him, and he's done it before. Lastly, the Niners could use another pass rusher at that defensive end spot. At the very least, he's on the open market. See what he can do throughout training camp and in the preseason. Name to keep an eye on as we move forward. As for that former first-round pick corner who the Niners showed interest in, we're talking about Damon Arnette, first-round pick out of Ohio State by the Las Vegas Raiders. Just signed with the Houston Texans on June 18th. And the Niners showed interest in the NFL-turned-UFL turned NFL cornerback before he signed that one-year free agent contract with Houston. Johnston used to be a fullback for those great Cowboys teams. He's the commissioner, I believe, of the UFL. Longtime great color commentator for Fox as well, said this. Couple of teams were reaching out to him. He's got everything you want. Length, he's a former first-round pick, so the talent is there. It's really the maturity. Has he learned from what happened to him his first opportunity when he was in Vegas? Let's pause and talk about that. He ran into numerous situations. Substance abuse issues, just making dumb decisions that got him in trouble with authorities. Has he gotten past that? Hopefully. Because there was a reason he was a first-round pick by the Raiders. But he was another failed Raiders first-round pick, I believe, in that John Gruden, Mike Mayock regime. They had a lot of misses. Johnston continued. It was great to see the Texans call D'Amico Ryans, because John Lynch in San Francisco was another one that called about him. So you can see that it really fits the style of the defense that D'Amico wants to install with the Texans coming from the 49ers. Because those were probably the two busiest teams that were reaching out on Damon's behalf. So let's connect the dots here, right? Just like we did with Okoronkwo. D'Amico Ryans was a linebackers coach with the Niners. Then he became defensive coordinator, stepping in for Robert Saleh. Now he's the head coach for the Houston Texans. Their defenses have performed really, really well in D'Amico's 2 years in H-Town with the Texans. He runs the same scheme that the Niners have run that he ran with San Francisco. And he added Damon Arnette to a secondary that's very talented. So it makes sense from that point of view. And a good success story here for Arnette. 19th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. Fell out of the league after playing just 13 games over 2 years. Several off-the-field issues. But he proved to Johnston that he had grown as a person, earned a second chance at professional football with the Houston Roughnecks of the UFL. He had 18 tackles, 5 PBUs, 1 sack, and a pick 6 during the 2024 season. Now, what does this show too? It shows us that the Niners know, they understand, and they think they're a little bit thin at the cornerback position. Their starting trio can be really good. Deommodore Lenoir, Renardo Green, Upton Stout on the inside. Lenoir has given up 1 touchdown in coverage the last 3 years. Renardo Green played awesome in 7 starts last year. Upton Stout can run 4-4, led all DBs in the gauntlet, led all DBs in the bench press. Sticky coverage, ball skills, physicality, ability to play the run, plays with swagger, plays bigger than his size. But if one of those players were to go down, you're looking at Trey Brown having to step in. Niners were using him inside. He's only primarily played outside, former 4th-round pick out of Oklahoma by the Seattle Seahawks, but he didn't play a lot with Seattle, completely unproven. And outside of that, you really don't have much at that cornerback position. So the Niners showing interest in a former 1st-round pick is of note, because that Niners depth chart at DB is not deep. They drafted Upton Stout in the draft. They took Marquise Siegel, who can play nickel and safety, but he's not an outside guy. And so if you suffer an injury there, Arnette is that type of outside guy who the Niners were showing interest in. So if San Francisco made a move at outside corner, whether it be in free agency, via a trade, would not surprise me at all. So that does it for this edition of the San Francisco 49ers Report. Just wanted to hop on, chop it up, talk some Niners football. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. As always, thank you so much for the support, and I'll catch you soon. San Francisco, we out.